Hello and welcome to the next episode of this series, which is about this Lego room and of course my life. Now this one is going to be a messy one. This is actually carrying on directly from the last upload. The paint in this room is still drying from the previous upload, and of course we wrecked the Winter Village display. We got a half-built 8080 and we got a Disney castle looking sorry for itself. Now the reason why this is going to be so messy is because we have so much to do. I've got to try and get this top wall prepped, ready for some sort of paint. We're going to get some paint on the bottom wall for our nice Clone Wars display, and then I want to be able to try and put all of the Winter Village bits and pieces back. Now what I have to do is actually scrape a lot of these bricks off to start with, because if you haven't been following or you're brand new to the channel, well, the bricks have completely exploded. So I can't get the paint back on the wall, so what I've got to do is scrape it all down, treat it, paint it, undercoat first, then paint it. So fingers crossed that wall will have something done to it. There'll be a bit of colour on the bottom wall, and then we'll have a nice corner to look at when it's all dry, neat and tidy. Nothing else in the room has happened in the last few uploads, so I don't need to show off any of that. So there's a lot to do. There's a lot of mess to be made, and there's lots of stuff that I'm going to break because I have to move all of this out the way. I've got to try and cover the Winter Village stuff. I have got loads of bits and pieces ready to make a display underneath this table, and I can't do any of that until this top shelf is done and we can just crack on from display to display, and then I can get underneath these tables and then we can start the next project, which will be underneath. So fingers crossed this one does go to plan, otherwise I'm going to end up probably crying myself to sleep. So wish me luck with this one. So with that being said, let's get to it. So luckily in the last upload I did actually make some space for the Disney castle to go underneath the table. Now the reason why I finished the upload how I finished it, and you guys and girls were probably thinking, well, why didn't you move the Disney castle underneath there to finish? You said you were going to do it. It's because all of these smaller bits can go underneath, and I don't want to knock that and break anything. So that is exactly the reason why I didn't do that. All of these now can just be thrown underneath here. They're just odds and sods of little bits and pieces that we're going through. They can make some little displays and all that kind of thing. There are, for example, M1 Starfighter there. The UCS gunship. I might just cover that because I don't really think I've actually got any space to put that thing at all, because it is so big. And then yeah, we've got little boxes and other little bits and pieces like that. So a lot of this stuff that is here is ready for the displays to go in. But of course, because I do everything in the wrong order, it's all going to have to come out to go back on, and it's just going to be a bit of a swine. But I am very much looking forward to seeing a brand new colour on the bottom. I can't start the bottom until we've actually finished with the top. So I am going to just get this clear, get this all ready, and then you'll go to a time lapse when I am starting to scrape some of that brick off, because it'd be too noisy to be using a vacuum cleaner to try and catch all of the brick dust. And if you're wondering what I mean about all this stuff, it's all of this nonsense that I need to get out off the wall so I can then paint everything, because I have shown it off in previous uploads. Well, it's a disaster. So hopefully we've got a solution. We can then make a very nice display with Hoth, with a very bright colour on the background. We've got the 8080 behind us, and we've got lots of other little bits and pieces. But of course, I can't do that until the colour's on, and it's now all off sync. That's had 2 coats. That's had no coats. That's going to go backwards. So ideally, what you would have done is put the first coat on, first coat on, first coat on, and so on and so forth. But I can't, I couldn't, and it is what it is. Well, I think that could have been a lot worse, but then at the same time, it has made a huge mess because that has already run out of battery. So that's the reason why I've stopped the time lapse. I am going to very, very gently just go back up to the top, scrape it all back with a screwdriver and see if there's anything else that's loose. I think there's a little bit just in that top bit just here. What I need to try and get it to do is basically that, where nothing wants to come back out. So I've got to make sure everything is off. Now that far brick, which I'm struggling to reach, which is a slightly darker colour, so it must be a little bit more damp. I know I need to get in there and scrape that back a little bit more. So hopefully we are now going to be going back forward and making progress, because obviously what I can't do and what I can't afford to do is what is happening at the moment is you've got all this brick dust obviously falling behind the shelf and it goes straight onto a brand new white, and it's now stained the white. So all of this potentially might need to be repainted anyway. So I'll see what I can do with that, so I can just wipe it off hopefully. If not, that's just a royal pain in the backside, and I've got to try and wipe all underneath the shelf because obviously there's a small little gap behind the shelf, and obviously a little bit of the brick dust was falling down. My concern is that it's actually fallen down the next level and it's hit all the Lego underneath, which would be splendid, but that'll be a nice surprise for another upload. So I'm going to carry on with these little bits and pieces now. I will then, I think, try and just get it treated, and then once it's treated and I've cleaned it all up, I'll catch back up with you. Right, it's all going wrong, including the camera not wanting to work. So we have just started to put the magic potion together. It's nothing fancy. It is a extremely strong PVA mixed in with some water. Now it's just got to have more water than PVA. It's only doing a couple of bricks. I don't, to be honest, don't need to do too much, I don't think. But obviously the plan is just to stop it from coming off. So fingers crossed this will work. So I've just refilled this up with water and then mix it in with a paintbrush hopefully, and we should be all right, he says. Otherwise it's not right and I've completely wrecked it and ruined it. So I thought I'd share with you the secret formula in case you have the same problem. My problem is now, can I find the paintbrushes anywhere? No. Pack of paintbrushes, I've moved them out. Oh, there, idiot. So we do it with a one inch brush, mix it all in. Probably not the greatest thing to do it in. You're probably supposed to do it in a bucket, to be honest, but it's not very exciting. There we go, going a nice fancy colour. And then what I'll do is I'll put it straight up onto the wall. So fingers crossed this will work. We might as well do the first brick together and see if I fail. So obviously this is going to be very watery. So now it's going to run down the wall, I would imagine. So on a positive, I did actually get the stains off. So that is good. But I can see what might happen with this if I'm not careful. Now obviously this is going to take ages and ages to dry as well. And then we've got the white that will need to go back over this. I'm just hoping that this will leave a nice little coat. I can literally just paint over the top. Otherwise we're ruined. And in this upload I actually want to get the yellow one, like I said. So while this is drying, if I think there's no brick dust coming down, there's a little bit, so I can give it another good clean. But I think if I get all the nooks and crannies, we might be, that brick, I think, might be all right. There's nothing coming off that whatsoever. So if the rest of the bricks do what they've done, then fingers crossed, it should be all right. Right, we've made a little bit of progress, which is good. All the bricks have been covered and they're drying and they're doing what they need to do. Now the first one that I did it and then waited and then did the others, and this is what it's starting to look like. So it's looking very positive, and I think it is going to be a paintable surface, which is fantastic. Now the wall just needs a little bit of a wipe down, just needs a little bit of a clean, but no brick dust really pinged off and came off when I was actually painting it on. So I think, he says, I scraped them down enough and there's no loose bits around, and obviously anything else that is loose, it should now just be stuck to whatever, and now the paintbrush shouldn't, he says, take it all off. So it's going to be a very, very interesting process for that. So that is now just going to be, every time I do something, it's going to need 2 to 3 days probably to dry properly. And I don't actually know how long that is actually going to take to dry, but if we're going by this, which is now, well, it's probably nearly in double digits for the hours. Like I said, it's going to need 24 hours minimum, and certain bits I think it's going to need a lot more than that. So I'll give this 48 hours until I touch it, and then I'll put a little bit of white on, and then we'll go from there. So what I want to try and do this evening, because obviously the paint takes so long to dry, is now get a little bit of yellow on just underneath, which is doable, but I need to make sure there's not a single bit of brick dust anywhere, because the last thing I want to do is put a fresh coat of paint on and then get brick dust stuck all over that. So that would be an absolute nightmare. So I am going to give this all a really good clean and re-hoover absolutely everything again, dustpan and brush it, and just do what I can possibly do, and then hopefully I'll be able to crack on with the yellow today. So I will catch back up with you when the first coat of yellow has been added. So those are drying nicely, and I've left the bit that I need up here in case it needs a second coat, but I don't think it will. And yes, the yellow is on, and honestly, in person, this colour is outrageous. Now, I haven't masked anything up, I just need a small paintbrush just to dabble those in. That has actually just started to dry ever so slightly, so I'll get my shadow out of the way. That's a bit of a better look at what it's going to be like, but obviously it is soaking wet because I've just finished painting it. So I will update you with what colour that is going to sort of dry, or sort of what shade. Be very, very interesting to see. Obviously it's going to need a second coat, so I can get the second coat on that now, absolutely no problem. Then hopefully while the second coat goes on that, I know I'm repeating myself, I can get the white on that, and then when the white goes on, I can't touch that for a minimum of it'll be a week. I know it's a week, and then we can actually just start tidying some bits and pieces up, which would be fantastic. So the second half of this video will actually be Lego related rather than actual brickwork related, but we have got obviously this ship here, and just this colour palette with the red and the white against that yellow I think is going to be very, very strong with regards to the other ships that will be coming on here, which would be an interesting thing. Just got to figure out what colour I'm going to do the base paint. I'm thinking at the moment, well, I've just got off the phone to Jay, and potentially grey. But what my plan is whatever colour the wall is, so we've obviously got Cody yellow, and then obviously that's more kind of a Rex blue over there, but we're not using the blue for the Star Wars, I don't think, is whatever the colour is on the back, I have the tiles to match as the path. So I'll do a lighter grey with the colour in the middle, like so it's a proper path all the way around, so it's all themed and it matches. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. So when the vehicles and everything are all placed, and we've got a big battle going on down here, so I'm going to need quite a lot of minifigures for that, yeah, then we should be absolutely laughing. And then when it's in, I can just tile it with the I've got so many colourful tiles in one of the bags. Notice in there somewhere I've got the pinks, the yellows, the oranges, the reds. I've got everything that you could possibly imagine. I got bags of them because we did, when we first started, like a rainbow road, and each outside the front of each modular it was all very, very, very colourful, and now it's kind of snowballed from there. So I am now going to have a shower and something to eat. I will come back up here. There's no point really coming back up tomorrow because it's not going to be it's not going to be dry by then, but I'll come up and check it, and then we'll probably carry on in a day or two's time, all going well, and then we can just see what we can achieve. So I will catch back up with you soon. But before I do wrap it up for the night, yes, that is the colour, and standing further back it does look very, very nice against that blue. And obviously when that top goes orange, it's a shame really, because it does look quite nice white as the Hoth stuff, but you're never going to see any of the minifigures, so we're going to go for a super, super bright, vibrant colour. So have the orange above as well, and yeah, I think that display now should be very, very eye-catching on camera. So we are a few days on from when I spoke to you last, and I have painted the wall up at the top, and fingers crossed that is going to take lovely. The paint went on fine, there's no brick dust or anything like that, so fingers crossed it's done the trick, and I really hope it has, which means I can get that then painted. I'm not going to be able to get it painted in this upload because it's just going to take too long to dry, but we still have quite a lot to do. We've got to get the second coat of yellow on because that actually now needs a second coat now that's dry. We've obviously got to get the Winter Village bits and pieces back, and I think the blue now has dried nicely on the wood. Still a little bit wet in that corner, and we are now 4-5 days on. So it's taken 5 days for that to dry. So I told you, it takes a long time. I know I need to tidy up a little bit of orange on the plugs, but I'll get around to doing that in this upload. So what I need to do now is, I'm not going to bore you with it, is just smash the second coat of yellow on, and then we know that'll be done. The blue was done in 2, and I think the yellow is a slightly better paint, so that should just go on in 2 as well, which would be absolutely fantastic. And then we can start putting the Winter Village bits and pieces back, and then I can start to speak to you about potential Clone Wars display coming up in the next upload. So the second coat of yellow is on. I'm not too sure if you can see the difference on the camera. I hope you can, but the shadowing is so bad. Right, you're going to go up there. We are now finally going to do some sort of Lego. So the blue is done. That can go away. That's fine. I can clean the paintbrush off, which is over there. That is fine. Pumpkin is down here. She wants to say hello. In fact, this is Pumpkin, in case you didn't realise what she looks like. There she is, super fluffy. So I've got to stop her from now jumping up, because obviously it's wet paint, so we don't want you jumping up. No. Right, Winter Village has to come in a little bit, because I was saying to you about we're going to sort out the Clone Wars display on the next episode, and that's when the orange can go on at the same time. So as I paint the orange, we can actually do the Clone Wars display, which is for the yellow, which is nice and exciting. So in the next upload, it'll be all the base plates coming down. I will explain and cuddle at the same time. So it's all the base plates coming down to figure out how many base plates there are. Now it's going to go from the inside of the yellow to probably where this base plate is now for the white, and then behind it is probably going to have to be the length of the other thing, I think. So it's going to be a case of figuring it out. The rain has just started up on the roof. We're due a very big storm now over the next few days, so that's going to make things very interesting indeed. But what I want to try and do in the next upload is actually get all the paths and stuff down. So it's going to be very interesting, because I'm going to get all the base plates down, do a zigzag walkway with the yellow tiles and the grey, which will then leave me set amount of display space, so I can actually work to that, and then I can change it from that, and the path will always stay the same, like it would have done in any of the theme parks, because obviously the paths and things tend to stay the same. And then what we end up doing is, I say we end up doing, never done it before, just change the other little bits and pieces around. So it should be good fun, but I do need, Pumpkin, to sort this bit out, and you've got very comfortable, and you've got a knot just there, which I've just got out. So that is fantastic. We're going to keep the housing the same. We're going to keep the back run the same. Train stay in the same place. I've got to get the orange off the plugs. Obviously the other bits of the base plates and things have got to go down, so that's not too much of a problem because they're just down there. And then we have got a lot. Right, like I was saying, I am now pumpkinless. She has jumped off and gone to get some snacks, I think, so we can now just carry on with this. You can see what I mean, that she's molting, because there is fluff absolutely everywhere. So I need to start off with the train at the back, and I want to see if I can scrape off the orange actually on the plugs, and then we can just put these bits and pieces back in, and then hopefully we should be good to go. So if I place you on the timber like so, I bet you I've just put you directly in the way. How hard is this on? Oh, it's not. There we go. So I can just scrape that off absolutely no problem, which is fantastic. Actually, it's probably easier just with my nail, to be fair. As long as I don't get it. I could do it with a wipe. That might be a good idea. I haven't got anything up here, but at least I know that will come off there splendidly like that. Good, so I can reach that with all the bits and pieces in, apart from I can't reach it with the training, can I? Bugger. Right, okay. That's that idea out the window. What's this going to do? I'm going to have to... Yeah, that'll come off as well. I've run out of baby wipes, which is not exactly ideal. They've all gone dry, so I am unbelievably organised, as you can tell. That is going to do nothing. Oh, is it going to do anything? Let me battle this, and then we'll do the winter display. Right, it's not perfect, but it's not bad for a fingernail, so that will do for now, and then I can just get the rest of the bits and pieces off at a later date. Now, the first thing I need to do is do it all in reverse order. So these bits and pieces now need to go back. So this should be interesting because I've moved everything, and I hope that they will go back. So these are, if you've not caught these before, they're actual window panes. They're just clear ones. We put the track over the top of it, and it works actually okay, but I am for some reason going the wrong way. Should be going left to right, not right to left, so I knew you'd be in the way, as is basically everything else. So where do we start and finish with these? Because this station, if I remember rightly, was quite close to the plugs. Knew I should have taken a photo of this. Thought I had more than 5 out here, to be honest, but we will see what that does. So we have got those up on there, which look fine. We just need to put the track back up, which again should be easy doable because it's just that piece, and it's not. Got the bits mixed up, but that's embarrassing. It's not that bit. It's the bit that is buried, I think. Oh no, yes it has to be, because I've got that bit that kicks out. So we are definitely missing, I say, we're definitely missing a piece. Now, that bit there, that bit there, that bit like that, I do believe. So that is all of those in. And then it's just a case of station and train. I am hoping. So Winter Village Station. That's sat on the curve. Like so. And then the track went round it. Like that. I think. Why is it I can never get this right again? Always get this bit wrong. I spent so long on it last time, it was embarrassing. Right, that is there. So the train then goes on. Let's do it in the right order this time, because if I do it in the wrong order it doesn't work. So we have got the actual train with the other bit, which is that and that. So that works. He says we can get it on. I think I've just knocked you. That is that. So that is okay. So that's part of the train. Then, you should know this by now. This is, I don't know how many times I've done this already in 2025, which is embarrassing. But I jinxed myself and said I will make an 11-month display, won't touch it. And literally the following video, we start doing all these other bits and pieces. That gets dragged, not pulled. And I've got to find the tree for that. So that is in like so. I know I'm missing a little bit of steam at the top, but it is what it is with that. So you now do need to move ever so slightly, but I also have to relocate some of these little bits and pieces, which is not ideal. So that's in the right place. That didn't move. We had the toy shop by the toy shop. That's the music store, I know. So that one went there. The only reason I'm putting them back pretty much in the same place is, like I said, they were in this display for about 48 hours, and then we decided to change our mind. But some of them are going to have to move. And I'm also going to have to put the base plates down before I carry on. Right, so that now needs to come off, that now needs to come off. This table has become very, very handy. This temporary table, which has now been up across here for multiple uploads. It is a bit of a saviour, to be honest, at the moment. We are putting the elf at the angle just there. The workshop was in the corner, so that tucked in like that. And then we have got a couple of other little bits and pieces to add. So we'll start this way. I'm glad this really isn't covered that, well, what I was about to say makes no sense. This really isn't covered that badly. There's no dust on here. I thought it was going to get covered in bits and pieces, and there's no brick dust, which is great. So we are putting these down yet again, but I am going to have to stop in a slightly different place. That is 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got 5 of those to put down. That is for the air balloon. So 4 and 5, and we've got the rest of them. I say the rest of them, a few of them are going to be for Hoth, and then got to figure out what else I can do with all of the other colours. Right, so that is those. Now, why are they not lined up with the rest? Right, now they are, I think. Right, so this is now our display. This is what we've got to play with. So we have got 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15. So you've got 15 base plate display on here, and I can't come over anymore, which is exactly what I said I was looking forward to doing literally when we did this for expansion. And now if I want to expand it, I'm probably going to have to potentially move it or put it somewhere else. But there is going to be a lot of changes within the next few uploads of different bits and pieces. Now we know what this is for, and this is for this air balloon just here. So that will clip on to there, that goes on to there, like that way. And I think we had the tray like that. So it's just passing the balloon up on there. So that didn't look too bad. Now we know what we're going to do with the bakery. I do want to get the smaller cottage and add all of those together, which would be lovely. So this was, I do believe, there. We had this Christmas tree roughly there. That was part of that. That was part of that. They're the small trees, and that is the guy from the Alpine Lodge. Right, talking about Alpine Lodge, that was the important one to go in at the angle, like so. And then we had bits and pieces in front. So they've not moved at all. So we can now put the trees and things back in the front of this one. I think what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to make the display in front of this slightly different. Because I think I'm going to have the trees in front of the Alpine Lodge rather than to the side, and have the reindeer mixed in within it, because it will free up this space then. I think that might be a bit of a better use of space. And what I will do is, as theming, we'll have that there where it looks like you buy your Christmas tree. So I can keep all of those together, but I think it looked quite nice with them dotted a little bit further in. As I said, it looked a little bit empty around by here, so we will give that a go. But like I said, now this is the only one that's not actually going to get tiled. There's no point tiling this one because it just looks like you're walking on snow, so I can actually get away with this and just cheat a little bit and dump the minifigures on it, whereas everything else will have a path going around. If I put maybe 3 just there, and the rest are here, and then yeah, that'll work quite nicely. So we've now got the trees in front of the Alpine Lodge, and then as you come up from the Alpine Lodge, you then got obviously all the other accommodation behind it. So this is our hotel accommodation for the theme park, because don't forget this is one huge theme park display, and the Star Wars is a walk-through attraction, and we have got the idea from all of the Legoland parks basically around the world. Why didn't I just push them in? All the Legoland parks around the world, and then, well, yeah, it's basically Legoland Windsor is the main idea for it. I have got a video from Legoland Windsor of just the size and scale of the walkthrough attraction, and it was something very, very special indeed. But this actually looks quite nice like that. Now we've got the conductor up at the top. These 2 little ones can go around here. Yep, happy with that. So that is what that looks like. So that's just a quick little thrown in. Obviously, I've literally just thrown it in, but that's how that's going to stay. I'll put the minifigures back up at the top as they sort of come around. And then what we've done now with this one is we've just put that there. The only thing is it does come with its own vehicle, and I'm not too sure how that is now going to work just there. So we'll have to figure that out. This was there, and we can replace that now with another one of these if required, but it's not going to stick out too much, I don't think. That's the little baby pram from there. This beautiful ice skating rink. It wasn't this one, was it? This is the one that needs to be fixed and built up. This one went over here. Yes, it did. So there's a diorama for there. Then we've got this thing to go over in that corner. It's a little bit easier once you've done it once already. You can kind of throw it all back in relatively quick-ish. That might be a problem. Standard, that might be a problem. So that was there. There's your benches going around there. We've got the naughty or nice there for the elf. So there's all these little bits and pieces that are absolutely amazing. And it's just figuring out basically where they're all going to go, because that definitely wasn't there last time. I think this was over a little bit, wasn't it? I think it went there, and then we had a street, so I would have put another one there, and then would have cut round the corner. Obviously that isn't there. Right, I will have a little bit of a think and a play. I'll probably grab myself a quick drink. We'll get this in basically rough, because I'm still finding the minifigures from this, because they're in, of course, the boxes that are underneath the table. So I will just keep adding to this over a period of time, and then it will be done. Because where, like, oh, hang on, that is the top of that. So it's not in 2 bits, is it? That's actually supposed to go there, on there. So just silly things like that I just need to get my head around. But if we can make it look neat and tidy like we've done at the front of this, and we've got all of the other little bits and pieces in, it should look relatively okay. Because, like, for example, those 2 need to be around there. They could act as, I don't know, security or something daft like that. We do need that in, and that can actually only go in one place. So that now can just be put in, and what I'm going to have to do is cut to fit, I guess, the the base plates, because I need some white base plates, but they're not perfect. So once I've done the hoth and seen what space I've got left for these plates, I'm then going to have to try and cover the rest of that table up. So it literally goes from the Clone Wars land straight into this winter village. Now that will be pushed back there. I think that might work there. And we will have this just tucked in, just there. And we'll have that open up so slightly, so you can then see that little thing just there. So I think that works. I think that fits in here. That would save it. How far back does it go? Oh, perfect. It's literally the same size, so that can just be hidden. That can just be hidden in there, so that doesn't look too bad. Ice skating rink in front. Yes, so there's just little things like this. So we got the Alpine Lodge toilet that I need to put in, and I have put all the trees in the way, haven't I? So I'm gonna have to take those trees back up, put that just there in the corner, which you didn't see whatsoever. So there it is, just there. So that's now back in, and you've got to basically, you need the lube when you're going around the trees. Well, it's there for a little bit of theming. I should put a sig fig in that, to be honest. I think that might be a little bit of an Easter egg. Right, we've actually got, I know it looks a little bit messy, but there is quite a lot of space, because if I pulled a lot of these out, like this one, you know, get all the bits and pieces that haven't really got a home at the moment. That's obviously very, very important. Haven't got a home just yet out. You can see just how much space there is with the display. So we've got nothing on that base plate, not much on that base plate. We've got a bit there, and we've got all of this space in the middle. So we need to get the reindeer in, which I don't know. That's just going to step and stagger and go there. It'd be nice to see everything front on, I think. Yeah, so they can go there. You're going to the carol singer, aren't you? So that's the truck for this. So we could leave those two there. We've got basically a makeshift road on those two. This chap is actually from the Alpine Lodge, so you can go in between and have a look, see at what's going on. And then it's a case of these little reindeers, which are very, very cute. Now there is somewhere, there they are, quite a few of them. So they are coming into the display right now. So they could be nebbing. But no, they're nice little builds, these. I picked them up from, I've had these a while now actually. What brick festival I went to. Always one facing the wrong way. So they're all wrapped around my favourite little cat and person, just chilling out watching. We've got another bench with the lights just on that bit, so that will do for there. We can put something small in here. We've got the horse and cart. Now this thing is huge. This thing really is massive, so I think if we have maybe horse and cart going one way then the other, so we can just carry on with our pretend street, and then we can have you being fed, because I haven't really got much to put around. That could end the display just there on the corner, because that is the post office. It's actually, sorry, post office is actually meant for the tram, because it's a pickup point for the tram that comes down, but the track won't go that far now. It could, once I know the length of what is going in against the back of the yellow wall, because it's pretty long. So this far corner will get tidied up as we go. We've still got more reindeer. So even though we've got all of these in here, there's another three reindeer just there. Do we have them escaped? Yeah, let's have them wandering. Let's have these just wandering around. Like so. And we've got... So I'm only throwing these in rough because I've got a bad feeling this corner is going to have to move a little bit. So we will add in basically just some figures. So you're with this. Santa could be up on there because I've got loads of them wandering around. Small little tree that can go just beside the elf. I think that's where we put it last time. That looks quite sweet. Just there. And then we have got just a handful of figures. That is actually with that, so that can stay there for now. These two, I know what set they're supposed to come with, and I still cannot find it. So those three I'll stay there because I've got something perfect that will go just here, and it's really, really annoying that I can't see that. And we will have this chap just chilling out and sitting on the bench. Now I know this ice skating rink here is part of the Alpine Lodge, but I think it works better here for a bit more space, and we've got the smaller oval one on the other side. I know that doesn't look right there, but that will be replaced with something larger, and basically all of this will change, I think. That's going to annoy me, but at least I can see all the bits and pieces out. The big tree doesn't look too bad, that's okay at the back, so it's doable for now. I like this bit. Basically, if I can get the rest of it looking like this as you come through, and then you've got all of these little bits and pieces here, you can see all the space that we've got. It doesn't look too bad, but then from about here onwards, I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to lose a base plate, if I can gain a base plate, or spread the bits and pieces out. But if I just keep the pieces there, at least I know what is what. But we have achieved basically what we needed to achieve today. The Disney Castle is just going to stay up on this table for safety, because obviously I've put all of those bits and pieces underneath the table for now. When we do the underneath table display, when I actually get all this timber and everything done, then what I will do is that will go potentially underneath, but maybe it might live up on top, because we have got some huge changes in the next couple of uploads. Because I know what's going to happen is this won't be dry, so I can do the Clone Wars on the next display when I'm doing the orange, but then I can't finish Hoth when the paint's obviously drying, because I'll basically put the second coat on and do the Clone Wars display. That makes sense. So while I'm waiting for the second coat to dry, we'll jump over to the Lego City, and we have an enormous change on this side involving all of the modulars. They are all going to move, and it's going to have a huge knock-on effect to make the back look a lot more tidier than what it is. And we're basically just going to meet in the middle, so I can go from this side where I'm waiting for stuff to dry, go from that side, vice versa, so I can just be up here the whole time doing stuff rather than waiting for the paint to dry. So there's a lot to look forward to. The next upload that follows this is going to focus on this bit just here, which is going to be base plated in a completely different colour. What colour at the moment I'm not 100% sure, and we are going to get a lick of paint up on the top, all going well. And then hopefully, he says, hopefully we can just crack on and get all the bits and pieces done that we need to do for that upload. Because like I said, I do want a path put down. I want bright yellow tiles with the grey, get it all sort of around, just in, I say rough. I would like it pretty much where I want it, but there's a lot of working out because of how big the Venator is. Yes, that huge ship. I think it's a base plate and a half on a stand. It's going to go on deep. So once I've got all the base plates down, we've got a lot to work out. So stick around, keep your eyes peeled for the next upload. I'm just aiming to get this done video by video by video, and we'll just see what the end result is. That I'm happy with. That looks messy, but this side looks all right, but it will do for now. So like I said, it's probably gonna have to get ripped up and carried on and start again and all that horrible stuff. So I have got loads to do. I've got lots to move and lots to figure out. So I will end this video up and just do some bits and pieces that you guys and girls are never going to see. So if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, that'd be absolutely fantastic. But as always, thank you very much for watching. You lot take care and I'll catch you next one. Ta-da.